Welcome back to the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. All right then. Two more matches remain in Pro Series 6. It's this one, followed by the final. Rob Wharne and Neil Raybone doing battle to earn the rather dubious right at this stage of the Ultimate Pool Pro Series to face Mick Hill in the final. And Mick Hill feeling brilliant and Mick Hill playing brilliantly. It is going to be some task, but before they get there, they cannot discount either of their opponents. Neil Raybone has been to a Pro Series final against Mick Hill. Rob Wharne is only ever been a Pro Series semi-finalist. This will be the furthest he's gone, should he make a final. Stephen Jameson, Simon, we're back with you for the Pro Series semi-final.
Yeah, what they've got to do here, both players need to block out what's awaiting them in the final and the challenge that would be Mick Hill and just focus on the match in hand. If they allow themselves to think too far ahead, you can get yourself a little bit lost out there. Focus on what's coming up and what you've got to do in each and every frame here. Rob Wharne with a great opening break and a great opening chance. I said in the studio there when we were with Mick, he's been playing some great pool this weekend. Lots of finishes from the break. His break is firing. And it wouldn't be a surprise to see him go on and take this title the way he has been playing.
You say it wouldn't be a surprise. I think there is an element of it that fundamentally it would be a little bit of a surprise, even though Rob's playing well. You know, I think if you said at the start of the weekend your two Pro Series victors would be Carl Sutton and Rob Wharne, that would be a huge upset. But Rob is definitely playing well, and Carl did all weekend as well.
Yeah, what a start. Very quick finish there from the break.
When he's in the mood, Rob, he is just dynamite around the table, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's the right way of wording it, actually, when he's in the mood, because he can be temperamental out there. He can lose his focus at times. He can get frustrated, but when he's on and when he's playing his game, you know, he's brilliant. I like the way he goes about it in terms of his body language at the moment around the table. He did that quickly, bounces back to his chair, and over to you, Neil. What can you do? I'm off to a good start. I'm playing well. I'm in this match.
Looks really focused, doesn't he?
Worth mentioning his quarter-final with Jimmy Croxton, which was just incredible. Rob went 5-0 up, was pegged back to 6
in about 4 minutes.
Yeah,
as well.
all 5 clearances off the break, and then Jimmy came back and went 6-5 in front before Rob won the last 2 frames and the deciding frame with a clearance from the break as well to win the match. I think I was told 12 of the frames were off the break. Incredible high standard, but the swing around in the match, incredible.
Well, the big key in Neil Raybone's performance against Chris Melling was how well Neil was breaking, and he's found a consistent, good break, and he's utilised it again there. Hit those really nicely, and he's not been necessarily rewarded with the easiest chance here, but he's got a chance.
Looks like a very tough opening shot on reds.
Yeah, that'll do.
Right, now that red's gone in, reds are the better colour set of the two. Just the one bad ball to worry about. A couple of ways of getting into it as well. Straight after it. Hasn't come out. And is he on the next ball? Does the one go into the centre pocket? Doesn't look like it from our overhead. Obviously the one he's nearest to does clip in, but can't do a lot with that.
Doesn't look like it goes to the...
Well, the fact that he's looking at the angles here, I think he is okay. Or maybe not. Double it is.
Missed it by quite a long way in the end as well.
Yeah,
There was
very long
nowhere
way.
in the end, Neil Raybone, after that cannon. You got to feel for him a bit.
No, Rob's got 4 bad balls on the table. And that is why he's playing safe, which is a rarity. Rob Wharne does not play safe very often.
Yeah, I must admit, I've seen him played that shot for a split second. I thought, Rob, what are you doing? And then, yeah, you can see where he's left the cue ball. That's as played.
But I said this before in the weekend with a couple other players as well. To me, that shows a level of confidence that he's got in his game at the moment. That sometimes I think when you're low on confidence, you start chasing more and more finishes. When you're playing well,
Neil's left this, by the way, on one of Rob's bad balls.
When you are playing well, confidence to actually be more patient is quite a big asset. Oh, he's going top right. That looked a foul, yeah, called it straight away. Fair play to Rob. Trish was on hand to call it as well. I think they almost called it simultaneously. Double hit here. Watch how the cue ball goes, yeah, pushes right through it. The sort of shot you see in the pub every weekend and people don't fully realise that it's a foul. You can't hit the ball twice or push it in the way that he did there.
And well, what a let off for Neil Raybone. The way these two boys have been playing all weekend, I do not think there's going to be much in this match. And when you sort of factor in the short race and everything that's at stake, that could be a big moment in the match.
Absolutely.
The Razor gets the job done. 1-1 then in the Ultimate Pool Pro Series 6 semi-final. Let's bring you up to date with some scores from around the tables in the Challenger Series 6. Del Redmond is into a Challenger Series Challenger Series final, I should say. He's beaten Ricardo Jones in a Graw 6-5. Sean Sharkey and Jez Graham still going at it. Jez Graham 3-2 in front in that one.
Yeah, good on it for Del. That's fantastic.
As for the Women's Series semi-finals, they are due to get on fairly soon, I'd imagine, on tables 2 and 3. Harriet Haynes against Alex Cunha and Sharon James against Becky Watkins. Interesting set of semis there, purely because Harriet Haynes and Alex Cunha have both been to a final already. Harriet Haynes, of course, won one, but we're going to have a new finalist, either one of Sharon or Becky.
Yeah, what's happened in the Women's Series this weekend is that they're in group stages, which I believe are seeded. I'm not 100% sure, but then once the draw is open, once they come through the group, it then becomes an open draw, and all the top seeded players ended up in the top half of the draw, and they all ended up beating each other. And Harriet's the one that's, well, Harriet and Alex have come out on top. Rob straight into the corner this time, so following his foul in the previous frame, he backs it up with another foul here, and it's straight in as well. Neil calling his extension. Neil's one of the players that he really does call his extension a lot after the break. So he does like to use his extra few seconds on the first shot after the break, mainly about mapping out finishes. Use that extra few seconds just to make sure, and then if you get things right, you shouldn't really need an extension thereafter. Possibly a roll or two further down the table, just so he was a shade straighter on this one. May have been nice, but still comfortable. Yeah, the reason I was saying a shade further down was just that you could play on it, but where he was, he could kick into it, which is just as nice, if not nicer. no surprise to see Neil work through these smoothly after making. Oh, God, just as I was about to say that.
Commentator's curse there, sight.
I couldn't see how he could go wrong, but he's potted that. Must have potted that so thin. I mean, he's overrun that by
2 feet.
2 feet, yeah. I'd love to see that again, see if he potted it thin. Put himself under huge pressure here.
He's actually lucky he's rolled so far that he's got the pot. He's nearly on absolutely nothing. This is tough. What a shot he's played here.
Oh, has it just pulled out?
Oh, it's going to stay up.
I thought that was in the heart for a second. Not sure if it flicked off anything. Let's just have a look at this again, see if he pots it thin. He wants to put it on the thick side. Yeah, he pots it right off the thin jaw.
That's such a bad error from Neil. That
and
is so uncharacteristic.
If he was worried at all about overrunning, then you play it off the thin jaw and overhit it to make sure that you've got acres of space. You've got the whole table, really. Really poor mistake from Neil Raybone.
Yeah, it's not turned off. That's gone straight in the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, come on then, Neil Raybone. Let's see if you can do your best impression of Chris Melling here. Rob has welded you up. What can you find? This is difficult. It's difficult to get into that quarter of the table, let alone hit the 8 ball. Oh, he ended up feathering out. It's a shame. I really wanted to see what he was coming up with. I think he may have been playing into the top cushion with rakes of right-hand side and almost playing top cushion, bottom cushioning, trying to get into it. Well, maybe not looking at the overhead. He had way too much angle on that, so maybe something else.
You just saw him flick off the red there as well with the cue. Good spot by Trish.
No mistakes from Rob. Did the right thing, snookered Neil, earned the opportunity, then cleared up. Big error from Neil Raybone though. Really should have got that frame on the board. Very poor. I'd written the frame off. I'm sure Rob Wharne had written the frame off. And that one will really hurt Neil.
Well, here is the whacker. Previous best in 2021 was a 1 quarter final. He was right down the rankings in 2021. He was down in general, was Rob Wharne. Whenever you spoke to him in 2021, he just felt like he wasn't really at it. Disappointed, he was down on himself. He's such a good player, and you can never keep a good man down, as they say, and his performances this season have been good. He's been a constant threat. He's put together a couple of runs of brilliant performances in Pro Series 1 and now in Pro Series 6 as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's got himself inside the top 16 provisionally. He's on the fringes. He's currently provisionally 15th with this result. If he was to lose here, might slide up a little bit more if he was to go on and take the title. So something to keep an eye on. He's certainly put himself into conversation with that top 16.
Thank you, frame 4. You're ready to raise, trailing 2 frames to 1.
How often do we see it? Huge mistake in the previous frame. Dry in the very next break. Now the opportunity for Rob Wharne to double that punishment. Talk about that a lot as well. It hurts a lot more if you can back it up with a finish from the break, and he's got an opportunity to do that. 2 frames, and he breaks off in the next frame. These are all there for the yellows. May have been playing a bit of a kick on the red, get it out the way just to stop it being a blocker from the yellow to the top to the one into the right centre, and that may be why he's rerouting, or he may have always planned to do this one, only he'll know. I can tell you though, he did overhit that one. That's a lot further than he wanted to come. His facial expression tells us that as well. He's clinging on in this visit. He's not got the cue ball at all.
100%.
And he's still clinging on. Got a nudge there. He'll be happy with this. Easy pot in the middle, but probably take it long just for control. Just for a second. Wow, has he? Has he snookered himself? He has.
Oh, wow. Oh, Rob.
Incredible.
What a shot he's played there, and not in the good way.
The whole visit had been building to this error.
Extension call.
And
Can't get a kick shot. Trouble.
yeah, that's massive. That's in some ways that's bigger than Neil Raybone's error, because it allows Neil back into the match and back into this frame. I remember I was talking at the start of the frame about how the clearance there would be just building the punishment on Neil, following a dry break, following the bad error.
As we so often see, when you have like a moment like that, you often have to go through a fair bit of discomfort, prolong the agony.
Yeah, and he's visibly shaken by that error. Just getting the cue ball around on the for the three on the cushions are the key here for Neil. Three in the middle of the table, no real problems at all. Not sure that's the best positional shot he's ever played. Thought he'd play on the one down to the bottom left. Hasn't. And now he's sort of potting himself into a bit of trouble here. Sure he didn't want to leave the two on the side cushions, one opposite sides of the table as his last two ball, but that's what's happened, and that's where he's at. Doesn't mean he can't get out, but it's not how he wanted to do it.
No, it is not.
Extension call.
It's never easy to win a massive frame in a semi-final. You've always, always, always got to earn it.
Straight's no good. And he's straight. Now looking at a double. He'll come back for the double. He could, I think he maybe could screw on and off the bottom cushion, but it's a big shot to play that. Yeah, just come back for the double.
Cool. How do you like him, Neil?
Yeah, it's been a poor visit to the table here from Neil Raybone. But he's one big shot away from that not mattering.
Shot. How's your 8-ball? He's all right. Great shot from Neil Raybone. Chance to go and now win the frame.
He's still grimacing simply because of the in-off. He's right on the cushion, so it's hard to put spin on it. The natural angle, this cue ball's going very close to the centre pocket.
Where's the cue ball? He's fine. He's judged that brilliantly. Neil Raybone gets out of dodge. By hook or by crook.
Yeah, not the cleanest by any stretch from Neil. But that doesn't really matter sometimes. It's just about getting it done. And now explaining to his friend Andy behind him what went wrong, why it went wrong. There is Andy Blurton, battling away in the Challenger Series. I tipped him to go well this weekend, which was obviously his end of his weekend, really, because it went wrong for him ever since I tipped him. But a very, very talented player in his own right. And Rob's still shaking his head on that mistake. Can't believe he's made it. Need to have a short memory in these matches. Good break here. In terms of outcome, maybe not the quality of the strike. Cue ball running a little bit loose, but still huge power through that pack. And now all the yellows have a pocket, just that one that needed opening up. It is now open.
Rob's got to do what he's done really well all weekend long. And that is just forget about what's gone the frame before. That should have been his frame. And the way that Neil in the end took them out will actually hurt him even more in a strange way.
Didn't want to be straight, and he isn't. Nice little angle just to bump the cue ball back out. Good response this from Rob, because you could see how much it was annoying him, the mistake he made in the previous frame. But big break and a big break finish.
Yeah, needed that in a big way. Rob Wharne back on track. And it's not always been that easily done for Wacker. The absolute definition, Rob, of a confidence player. When he's good, he's very, very good. And he's obviously hit a bit of a run this weekend. Got beaten in his opening prelim of Pro Series 5, and then since then has been undefeated. Come through a good field too. As for Raybone, Neil has for a long time been sort of known as Mr. Consistent. That's what he sort of made his name upon. Can he do it again? This break has been faithful for him all afternoon. Oh. Yet again. Neil Raybone is finding cash money in that break.
Yeah, really squaring that front ball up, coming from that side.
He's been crunching it, absolutely crunching it.
Well, what's he got here? Probably yellows. Could go reds. Depends on that red to the right centre. But no, yellows is his choice, not a surprise. Yellow above the 8 ball does go into the left centre pocket. The 2 yellows on the right hand side plant, and there shouldn't be any danger of the yellow going awkward when he plays the plant. So this is probably the only shot that can go wrong. Just glides by that red. Didn't want that red getting in the way of the plant at all. And he's landed right in the middle of where he wanted to. Giving himself a choice of pretty much 3 different pots. Just wanted to make sure that he came far enough down the table so that he wasn't messing around with a cannon or anything like that, and he's got that absolutely perfect.
Not for the first time this weekend. It's a really good visit to the table from the Raider this. A rapid clearance off his own break. Have some of that. Neil Raybone gets the job done.
Yeah,
great style.
Mentioned Rob Wharne's ranking, the fact that he's edged himself potentially into the top 16 of the provisional rankings. I think if he was to lose this match, he would finish at 15th. And Neil's in a stronger position than that, having made the final of Pro Series 1 after a disappointing 2021 for Neil, where he missed a couple of events, and the events he did attend, he didn't play anywhere near his level. He's returned a bit more to form this year, currently ranked 9th on the provisional rankings, but obviously power to add some more ranking points today could knock himself up quite a few spots in the rankings if he was to go on and win today. Possibly even as high as 4th. Shows you the season that Neil's having. There's lots of consistency there. Obviously the one big final, the highlight. Not for the first time in this match, but in a different way. Rob Wharne straight into the pocket with the break. Good chance on yellows then. So one thing you get with Rob Wharne in his break is it is so powerful that he leaves these sort of layouts all the time. So if he's going in off, he is really giving his opponent a great opportunity. Now Neil's played a little nudge, and that's come out okay in terms of he's got the nudge, but he's too straight or just off straight the wrong way on the yellow to the top right. I think he was hoping the yellow he nudged would sit more over the pocket, the top side of the pocket. So going to have to play his next one from distance. Does have the yellow near the 8 ball to consider as well. I'm sure he was planning on using the yellow on the right centre pocket as his way of accessing that one rather than having to play a cannon.
Tricky little shot then if he's going to have to play it though. Crisp pot from Neil. We did hear from Richie Oliver earlier, didn't we, when the chips are down. Gaps like that, however big they may appear for us, they can look very, very small when you're out there.
Yeah, the game looks so much easier in the commentary box than it does when you're out there playing. I might have enough angle on the one to the right centre now to play the positional shot onto the yellow below the red, or he could wait a visit. Yeah, you see him, the reason he's looking at the 8 ball is if he puts the cue where the 8 ball is, it's absolutely perfect. And he got the left-hand side of that 8 ball, and that is not perfect. Far from it, in fact.
Yet more drama in the Ultimate Pool Pro Series. What have you got for us then, Neil? Needs to be a massive shot here. Needs to be a massive shot here. Oh, how
Neil
about
Raybone.
it, the racer?
The precision he played that with. That wasn't a hit and hope. That wasn't a slam it. That was delicate. What a shot.
That's an unbelievable shot from Neil Raybone.
Needs another to finish it off, but what a shot that is. And this will hurt Rob even more.
Can Neil Raybone finish off a champagne finish? No, he cannot. Off the jaw it goes, and Rob Wharne comes back to the table. A very relieved man. That amazing shot from Neil Raybone is currently worth nothing.
Yeah, almost feels like it devalues the brilliance of the previous shot. The missed double. But take all that aside, Neil will be disgusted he hasn't got out there. One semi-awkward ball to deal with, and he couldn't deal with it. Rob has one semi-awkward ball to deal with, the one on the top cushion as well, but much easier to deal with it than Neil's was, but Neil still expected to clear it. Natural angle here isn't great. This cue ball can get away quickly. He's played the nudge, and the nudge has not worked. He never really had control of this visit. This frame is carrying serious weight now. Now that Rob's made the mistake as well.
Oh, it's getting twitchy out there, folks. It's getting twitchy. Shot, whacker. Bullet double under the gun. And Rob Wharne goes in front. Oh, that could be a massive frame.
Yeah, had to play this with some pace just to straighten it up.
What a shot in the end.
Amazing, this game, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. All the frustration in the world he was showing a couple of minutes ago, and at the table as well. And then one good double, and that's all goes. And it's Neil that sat there thinking about his errors.
Isn't it crazy? What a silly game we play at times. And 4-3 the scoreline. Feels like this match has been a grueler already. So much has happened within it. Neil Raybone is of course going to break dry because that is how it works.
That's the game. Yeah, he's been breaking so well as well. The swings and momentum in this match have been pretty crazy. They've both made enough errors to get their opponent excited and chance to punish, and then you think, oh, that's going to hurt them, and then all of a sudden the error floats back the other way, and in and amongst there's been some great pull, but
yeah,
there's been some errors in there that maybe I say we weren't expecting, but this is a major semi-final and a big deal for both these guys. Only natural for there to be tension and mistakes. I wonder if Rob is thinking about a little nudge on the 8-ball here. Doesn't need to, and it could go wrong. And he hasn't. It's good to see.
You let the dogs out. Listen to that.
Yeah, I think it's Emma Cunningham's got her dogs in the hotel with her this weekend. I think that's probably what we're hearing.
Rob Wharne, as he was always, it felt like going to do in this frame, is cruising towards a finish. This will really hurt Neil. It really will.
Yeah, job done from Rob Wharne. Well worked out, well done in the end. And he is now riding the momentum. His break off next as well. Look at the difference in body language in the chair from 5 to 6 minutes ago for Rob Wharne and Neil Raybone as well. Complete swing.
Absolutely massive.
And 5-3 up. 20 minutes left on the clock. Still plenty of time for Neil Raybone to turn this one around. And the way the match has gone, we almost feel like there might be something around the corner, but if you're in the Rob Wharne camp right now, it's his break off. He's been breaking great in the tournament, a couple of in-offs in the match. But if he finds one of his big breaks and can run it out, put himself on the hill, he'll have some chances. There's the big break. There's the ball.
And Rob Wharne's in again.
Cue ball's close. It would have been very unlucky if it had gone in.
Yep.
There are times when you let it get close and it gets kicked in off, and it's a little bit unfortunate, but also a bit of an error. That was not one of those. And these have come out really nicely. Clear the bottom half first, get yourself up the table. not great. Wanted to slide by that red. Gives himself a sarcastic tap of the table. Wanted to slide by that one, take it down to the bottom right-hand corner, and then use the one in the middle of the table to connect to the top. Can't do that now. Bad angle on the one into the middle of the table as well. It's coming down the table, not going up. Make a case. If you can see the one to the top right now, you could absolutely make a case for taking it. I'm assuming he couldn't. Wants an angle, I think, to get on the one to the bottom of the table. I don't think he's got it. Might have to really force this one through the gap.
Oh, he's played that really well.
So this is the big shot. Has to come down the table for me.
Yep. That's the shot, isn't he? He's got to.
Ooh, it rattled, but it dropped. Didn't cue it as well as you can, but all that matters is it dropped. A lovely little cannon there as well, just to make the 8-ball as simple as it can be.
He's there. Rob Wharne is almost there. Edging closer.
Yeah, one frame away now. Momentum very much on his side. Really stepped in and punished that Neil Raybone mistake. I think that's 3 frames on the trot for him, following the mistake from Neil. Neil almost pulled off that incredible last couple of ball finish, but the mistake in leaving himself that is what's going through his mind right now. And Rob's jumped in, counter cleared, reverse cleared, break cleared. Very good as well from where he was. The mistakes he made 3 frames ago as well.
Good friend Andy Burton just offering some pearls of wisdom. Neil on the break then, and he needs one here. He needs one massively. He needs to win the next 4 frames.
Flushes it.
Well, you just can't hit him better than that with that break, can you? Hasn't always been sort of getting the split that he's always deserved with that.
Messi on 1 ball, whether you go reds or yellows. I think reds will be his choice though. Looks like he's got an angle. If he can get past the 8 ball, he's got an angle to kick out the bad ball straight away. If he can't get past the 8 ball, he'll have to come back and use that ball over the right centre in a minute. I think he's got the angle now, the bump into the 8 ball leaves him that angle. He may have wanted to play it on the left-hand one of the 2 into the right centre pocket, because he would always be leaving the other one over the pocket when playing it. Of course, the bump into the 8 ball stops that from being a possibility, meaning he wasn't guaranteed, unless he was on the ball he hit, to be on the next ball. And that looks like that's what's happened.
Well,
Okay.
Rob Wharne, time to come and earn your place in an Ultimate Pool Pro Series final.
Clever safety shot there from Neil, just nudging a yellow towards the red at the bottom corner, which, okay, we know taking pockets isn't the way to go in this game. But what that does is it sort of slows Rob down unless Rob plays a cannon or a skill shot of some sort. It at least makes him think. He was also thinking maybe the yellow could go onto the red and pot the red as well, and he could continue his visit.
Oh, Rob's gone in there. Screws across the bottom rail. Yellow's now free. Just get the sense he's one decent shot away here. Could just drift by that red. He's controlled that well.
Yeah, that's good. It's a nice angle to get onto the next yellow. Wants to guard against finishing straight because the 8 ball doesn't go to the right side of the table. So doesn't want to be straight. That's a good angle.
Two shots away from his first Pro Series final, Rob Wharne. Overruns it a fraction, but he's absolutely fine. He's done it.
Yeah, all credit to him.
What a weekend for the whacker. He has done it. Rob Wharne in his first Pro Series final overcomes Neil Raybone. And a special performance this weekend from Rob. He will have to do it again and then some to go through and win the big one. He's got Mick Hill to come in the final. That is now set. The whacker is in.